is Dr. Jeffrey Lance speaking to you from my Blue Room in Cambridge, Massachusetts. From here, I confront, think about, deal with some of the great problems of our times. And no problem is more significant than the continual embedded racism which is dealt with, confronted, and exists all over the world. For this, we need a dose of Nelson Mandela. It was my privilege in 1990, shortly after he emerged from prison, to see him here in Boston, Massachusetts. It was a thrill. It is always a thrill to see a person who has changed the world without a gun, without a bullet, without a malicious thought, without rancor or hatred. And so I was privileged to be able to write 2 articles on Nelson Mandela, this one being the second. And I know it's going to resonate with you because I know, like me, you're all thinking about what can be done to stem the terrible racism and all the acts, the riots, the murders, the assassinations that are incurred thereby. Let's see if we can't come up with some good ideas today. The name of the article is Umbuntu. We are growing higher and higher. Thoughts on leadership as inspired by the life and choices of Nelson Mandela. Hear the children, hear the children. They are talking to you. She was discovered whilst cleaning other people's houses. Even there, she had it. Her employers were so impressed that they taped her singing and sent the tape to a recording company. One thing led to another, and the woman soon to be known as Lady Africa was discovered by Alan Paton, who gave her a part as a chorus singer. That was in 1964. The poison called Apartheid was still in full effect, but Lady Africa had that which would not be denied. Call it talent, call it fate, call it the right sound, call it destiny, call it luck. Soon she was singing to South Africa while showing the world that the spirit of the nation still lived, despite everything that could be done to suppress it. Her name was Margaret Singana, 1938 to 2000. And she sang her way into eternity with a number you need to hear to get full value from this article. It is We Are Growing. Despite the fact that she suffered from the consequences of a 1980 stroke, she soared in this 1986 comeback, which became the theme song for the television series Shaka Zulu. Go hear it now in any search engine. It is the heartbeat of a great people, a people that Nelson Mandela helped make greater still. Know them, learn from them, fly with them. Ayoyo, oyo, Bayete, Inkosi. He be a man of greatness now, be a man of wisdom now. This is an article that must be read by adults for children and adults for themselves, because all of them need to know and understand the responsibility to ease their often frustrating and difficult lives begins with each of us. Study leaders, learn leadership from those who lead, scrutinize, understand, emulate. In his autobiography, Nelson Mandela wrote of how he learned the crucial elements of leadership, large and small, by watching the ruler of the Abu Tembu. He was the greatest figure in young Mandela's life, and thus a person worthy of the study. This person of consequence obviously understood the critical importance of instructing the young Mandela, who wrote, I always remember the regent's axiom. A leader, he said, is like a shepherd, letting the most nimble go out ahead, thereupon others follow, not realizing that all along they were being directed from behind. Now, not later. When was the last time you took child in hand be that a gleeful 5-year-old or a surly, truculent teenager, and open a candid discussion on leadership. If your answer is how much you want that young person to succeed. My father, for instance, Donald Marshall Lant, now very near the conclusion of 9 decades, had at his instant disposal a person whose story he insisted his children know and follow. That person was General George S. Patton, 1885 to 1945. My father used to say this story: find the man in the furthest trench, find the muddiest soldier there, find the man leading from that trench, and you will have found General Patton. We learned he was a man of decisive action, a man who led from the front, a man who followed Teddy Roosevelt's famous formula for success: do the best you can with what you've got, where you are. You wanted to follow such a man, for he was doing what needed to be done. Helping such a one is a privilege, no matter how onerous, difficult, or exacting the task. As for me, Father, I remember. Some lessons abide, appreciation for them never ending. This was such a lesson. Luckily, Mandela had his leader close at hand, but not all of us are so fortunate to have an amiable monarch of pedagogical inclinations near. Thus, select a leader to befriend. Here's how to do it. Start by drawing up a list of local leaders, people you know of, clergy, educated writers, politicians, military officers, civic worthies, union and business leaders. These people, some of whom may live and work in your neighborhood, are more accessible than, say, Pope Francis, although you should not neglect His Holiness. He clearly has a most congenial way with young people. Write, note I did not say type, a letter that mingles unabashed admiration with a plea for their understanding and assistance. Such a letter is a minor art form and goes something like this. I need hardly say that properly presented, such a missive is irresistible. I quote, Honored one, I present myself to you for an honorable purpose, to learn from you and become in the process a better person. Will you allow me to know and study you? I am just 15 years old and am at what my parents call an impressionable age. It would be a matter of the utmost significance if you would allow me to be impressed by you, and so have your important deeds and actions chronicled by me. Unquote. Like I said, properly presented, such a missive is irresistible. Include your autobiographical details. You may use a resume, though this is not as an immediate job application. Your most winsome and arresting photo should be included. Be sure it isn't the classic of you on the white bearskin rug in the Altogether. That may be misconstrued. Add a recommendation or two from an adult, preferably a teacher, pastor, other eminent personage who knows you and realizes that all future leaders begin here, needing a bit of help to commence their 1,000-mile journey. Steps to building a leader. Now you're ready to begin. Number 1, deliver your request in person whenever possible, if not by a carrier that requires a signature. Number 2, always include your telephone number and email address. Include your social network page. Number 3, if you have not received a response within 2 weeks, send an email or telephone number to your designated leader. These folks are busy. Help them out by following up. Number 4, be prepared to speak to your chosen leader. Brainstorm what you will say and write it down. Number 5, schedule a convenient time to meet with your leader for the all-important first encounter. Remember, you never get a second chance to make the best first impression. Number 6, before the meeting, get a scrapbook and collect everything you can about this person. A scrapbook is essential for this project and must be kept up to date, especially for this crucial first time. Number 7, Make sure at least one parent or adult accompanies you to this meeting and testifies to your seriousness of intent and good habits. He is he be sure to look the part of the young leader for this and all future meetings. Slovenly look and demeanor are completely unacceptable. Also, make sure your cell phone does not ring during the meeting. This is a must. Hear the children, they are speaking to you. Whether you've ever considered the matter or not, you must know that every child of whatever age wants not just to be liked, but far more important, to be respected and admired. In the classroom, on the playing field, within any given organization or the broader community, or even worldwide. Your help is crucial in achieving this critical role, and are you doing the necessary? 1. Set the objective, ensuring that each child has a leadership goal. 2. Help the child, which means assisting and advising, not doing the work needed. If you do that, you've defeated the entire purpose. Number 3. Ask for regular reports and follow-up. Do not assume there is progress. No. Number 4. Praise whenever possible. Critique softly, but always honestly. This is essential. Number 5, if the necessary communication between young person and designated leader breaks down, intervene, and with deft handling, put the matter back on track. Finally, when the project is well advanced, arrange with your leaders meeting to share the scrapbook with all his invaluable insights into the important matter of leadership. Be sure a photographer is present to record this auspicious moment for an awaiting posterity. Send it to your local newspaper. Post it online in social networks with appropriate caption. If you followed the steps in this article, you may be sure the leader's incandescent smile is real, not assumed. Then ask her for a recommendation. For remember, leaders leverage each and every action to achieve still greater renown. Then sit down and congratulate yourself, for you have given your child the necessary leg up. You've done, in short, what good parents do, and you have every reason to feel pleased with yourself, not least because you exemplify the critical concept of Umbuntu. That is, you are open and available to others, affirming of others, with a proper self-assurance. Umbuntu Ngumuntu Ngabantu. We rise, not alone, but through other people. And this is the most important leadership lesson of all. Thank you for joining me for these remarks. I hope you find them useful in your communities, with your children. Teachers, feel free to copy this recording and work in a new way to ensure the success of your talented students. Thank you so much.